be that way. What create that kind of speculation? And it is dangerous for our country. It is very dangerous. Because if the speculation remains true, no serious investor wants to come to a country that is considered the transiting point for major drug trafficking in the world, that is considered a hub of money laundering, that is all of those. So I will stop here and take some questions and comments.
Before we go to the general public, this bench would love to go from the councillor. This is the speaker of the. What I want to know is what substantiates if the president is in the U.S. and specifically Virginia Langley going through some sort of query from the CIA for, like you said, what substantiates the authority of that particular U.S. agency to investigate, if true, to investigate our president, the president of the republic.
You know,
that's the case like
you know, the United States is a leading country and has a mutual relationship with Liberia that lasted. It is our oldest, our most reliable, and largest and biggest partner in the world. There's no question about that. It has a senior relationship with us. It helps us to build our security, to build our infrastructure, to develop our country in many ways. I don't blame America a lot for some of our failures. It is leadership failures here that have not made us to fully benefit from the assistance that the United States have given us. Now, the United States and Liberia have strong diplomatic relationship. They deal with each other on the basis of their mutual security and strategic interest. So all of those can lead to questions, inquiry, cooperation in security matters and all of that. But the public needs to know. If you have not detailed, the public needs to know. Whatever we have not, the government will say, look, we are there to strengthen security ties between the United States and America. The issue of terrorism is a matter of importance to the whole world. Terrorism is a threat to international peace and security. That's why the United Nations is concerned about terrorism. Terrorist financing, money laundering, undermines and breaks down economies and increases poverty in a country. Because only a few people can benefit from money laundering and terrorist financing. We don't want that. We want our country to develop along a path that is supported by rule of law, not by any criminality or illegality. You know, when Colombia was in that state, it is recovering. When they had Pablo Escobar and all these people in Latin America, people didn't want to go in those areas because you didn't want to be associated with terrorism. We don't want this small country to be associated with terrorism, and for our government, especially the president, to be a beneficiary of terrorism. That is basically what I'm saying. I believe that everywhere, meaning Liberia, has that concern.
So is the aim of this a mock visit of yours to caution the information ministry to speak to this particular visit, or to also add up to public speculation?
No, not to add to public speculation. I will never ask any agency of government to strengthen speculation. It is the role of the government to inform its people. It is the right of the people to be informed. That's all I'm saying. But not speculation means something that is not true. Government has an obligation to tell us what is true, and we'll hold the government accountable. And we'll say, you told us this. We found out this not to be true. We don't expect anybody in government. It will be irresponsible for the Ministry of Information, anybody in government, to speculate.
Thank you so much. So let me entertain the audience now with you.
So he's a councillor aspirant, Tiawan Gongloe, presidential aspirant. He'll probably walk in to raise his concern over the silence of the information ministries as it relates to the president travel to the United States, the purpose for the visit. He is also here asking a hard question, why is the president in the United States of America? He's doing so against the public speculation, which in his mind is chaotic towards the stability of the state. He says, should the information ministry speak with specificity as it relates to the president's travel, it will help assuage public fear, speculation, and reduce rumor that have the ability to cause chaos and tension in the country. So it's up to you now to interact with the Lender Councillor and aspiring, presidential aspiring Tiawan Gongloe. What a concern, yeah.
You got 8 on me right now.
So thank you. Comrades, my name is Robert. I'm professional political smarter by Mavit, or member of Meridian Cardio of the Mali Kunga for Democratic Change, member of CEO and Life Invitation for Tuamasura County. Now, firstly, I disappointed in the aspirant for the presidency. I love it as I brings to the presidency. I love his sales, but his sales leading to preach sales tradition. He is selected for the presidency. The first guest ever in the history of SEAL to have come to SEAL, meet Speaker Stinney, take them go by our tradition, pour a broom, I love the broom, that was pour a broom.
Hey, comment, please, bear with me, please. Comment, please, let the gavel rule. Let the gavel govern. Comment, order. Let the gavel govern. I think our brother Slata or Comrade Slata was now following the intermittent exchanges between the speaker who were on the stand and the moderator when the councillor invented. So you are not following. And I think it's important to inform you to correct the misunderstanding you have that the councillor was permitted. The speaker who he met on the stand waived his right to continue speaking. He observed the councillor and he said, "Councillor, I'll reduce my height so you can speak." With that said, I want you to go straight to your issue concerning why he's here.
Not only about the issue is surrounded us by better than SEAL. I'm not wrong. Think about making a plan of it. But as I said, I love it silently. And I want you to say, you want to know, and you are not letting the speculation out there. I don't want you to speculate negatively to what you said. You said the president won't make speculate that the president is targeted for trust trafficking and other issues. Why is true that we do not know the reason for which the president was invited? As we speculate, we will also speculate that the president went there as a relates to number one, we got cardinal and serious minor elections coming. We have the issue of Ukraine war. Ukraine and Russia now is trying to see how best they can have all African summit in inviting African leaders in our country to have meeting with them. So it was speculating, the speculators should not be negative. As I said, one of the sides that I bring to the presidency.
Order. Yeah, come in. Order, please. Order. Order. Hey, order, come in. Come in. Come in. Hey, order, please. You need to understand, if you are a stranger, you are sealed. We appreciate your concern and your willingness to be part of our forum. However, you need to understand the forum is guided by rules. When the speaker is recognized to make a point, it is the moderator that monitors him. If you have observation of the way he's proceeding, you can do it orderly. It's not the way the manner you're doing it. I think the speaker had a time and he used it. That goes to the speaker. Good afternoon, colleagues, and good afternoon to one of the viewer breakers and final son as you can post for Councilor Tiawan Gongloe. Let me say this to the audience. There are people that should start taking voice for. When the opportunity is being given to us as young people to interact with this kind of a character, we need to listen and listen well. The Learner Councillor said, with the speculation in the public, claims and counters, claims, argument and counter argument, all across the 50 political subdivision SSC trial is mandated upon the official spoke ministry, that is the Ministry of Information, to give a clear picture as regards to the claims and counter claims that is in the public space. The young man who just spoke here, he do not know Councilor Gongloe. The Learner Councillor was the one who took on his stand, nurturing young people and defending young people in the context of democratic change. At the time, it was not called Elizabeth democratic change. Under the rule of law. You are there for Molu, you are there for Koji, you are there for Kafta, you are there for Akara and Grewa Relief or Sunni. He pleaded the case. He pleaded the case. So the councillor never came here to talk politics, he came here to ask the government that there are speculation that may lead to conflict. The government has to speak. That's the issue. So we're waiting for the government to speak. If the information minister went along with the president, the acting minister must speak to the country to know the current state of affairs of our presidency. That means so we are occupied. That's the debate or the issue.
Thank you so much.
That's too concerned. Let me start.
Thank you very much for earlier. This is the place where ideas are incubated. Another place for international charlatan and playboys to come events. Having said that, let me salute the Learned Councillor. Like the brother said, let me commend him. This is a place to come when veterans are here, sit on the tutelage and we learn from them. What I want to know is from the angle of what is written on the books. For me, I actually am concerned about the president's departure for the country as to where he is. Most times it's published on the executive marshal's website. So at certain place there are arguments. They say it is not compulsory, it's not forced that everywhere the president is going, they inform the legislature or the country being informed. So I want to know, I want you to please educate the audience whether it is written on the books or not that the president should inform the country or the legislature before departing the country. Or that since the president says sometimes there are some issues that relates to privacy, that not every travel will be announced. Please make it clear between the two. Thank you, sir.
So that's the first thing you can respond to.
Let me say thank you very much. I think that's the only question that's been raised. The president is president of Liberia 24 hours of the day. You know, I'm speaking by experience. One time when I was the executive assistant to President Sawyer, 9 o'clock in the morning, three of his advisors came, including the late Peter Johnson, Ambassador Brewer, and Gabriel Fangalo. They say, young man, where is the president? I said, the president is sleeping. They say, shut up! Don't ever you say that. I said, oh God, the president is resting. Don't say that. So I said, okay, what should I say? Ambassador Brewer said, the president is also commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia. And 24 hours of the day, he has an obligation either to declare war in defense of Liberian security or to defend Liberian security when Liberia is attacked. Therefore, next time young men don't create insecurity, don't say the president is sleeping. Because when the enemy know that the time they were attacked, next time say the president is indisposed. I'm sure they got it from the, So, you see how elegant?
The president is indisposed.
Indisposed. It doesn't say when the president is sleeping, the president is sitting on the camo, the president is indisposed. He's just not available to see you. But that does not mean he's sleeping. That should answer your question that the president has a duty 24 hours. That is why he's the only president that has that immunity. He doesn't have free time. If the president takes vacation, it must be to the knowledge of the public. The citizen of Liberia, every citizen has a right to know where is the president this hour. The president is on vacation. The president is on medical trip. The president is going on his farm. It is public information that the public is entitled to. Okay? President is not a free person like that.
So the others were coming, so we go back for the last part of 3 questions. Let me begin with you there.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Elias Kiple. I want to say good afternoon, especially to all the finance council, Tiawan Gongloe. I want to say good afternoon. You know, we are here to learn. No one here to argue or something like that. It is not about politics. Sometimes it is our right to know what is unfolding about our president. So for me, I want to know and get the understanding. Mr. Gongloe, you know, you said something. If the president is invited by CIA, sitting president, if any other thing like it comes to corruption or through the money laundering or something like the drug trafficking, whether it can be investigated or any other thing of after leaving power, it will be a time for him to be investigated. Thank you.
So we can take one from the first state. As you. Anything else from you? Then we'll take it from veteran corner.
Sir, brother, thank you very much for educating us all this afternoon again. I want to know one thing from you regarding the presidency. You've existed before many of us, you acquired the education before many of us. Your intellect is very wide. Has there ever been an occasion, not only for Liberia, that you are cognizant of the CIA inviting any president around the world? And if such invitation is extended, what do you think would be the reason for such president to be invited?
Just invitation by the CIA for me undermines the authority of that office and its importance to us as Liberians, and even the respect that our office should be accorded around the world. The United States, normally it will be the State Department that will deal with governments through the Foreign Ministry. Even if another government, department of the United States government invites you to be the State Department that will relate to you through the embassy. I think it's an extraordinary action if a president is invited straight to Langley, Virginia. It is a matter of the strategic security interest of the United States, and that is of international proportion and severity to invite you straight to Langley, Virginia, and not Washington, D.C. It is Washington, D.C. that deals with foreign governments on the diplomatic level. Now, so for me, it's serious. That is the reason why I'm asking for clarification. Because in my reading and what I've heard on the radio, in my own life, it is unprecedented in Liberian history, and it is unprecedented in Africa. When I was in the States in 1990, I even saw General Savimbi. Was it 1990? Yeah, sometime in the season out of 1990 or when in exile. But I saw General Savimbi as rebel leader, head of UNITA, actually gave a joint press conference in the White House. So if a rebel leader could even be elevated to that level, we haven't seen our president give a joint conference at the guardian of the White House. That's what we expected to happen this time. But to go to CIA deals with serious intelligence issues. Otherwise, ordinary criminal matters are dealt with by FBI. When CIA takes on an issue, it is no joke. And especially when the president's visit was preceded by the visit of the CIA. to me. Very serious. Now, the young man asked about the presidential immunity on our law applies to is bound within our territory. But other governments have their strategic interest and security interest, and they are not bounded by your local law, your constitution. If you remember, you were not born, but you go back and read Google search a man called Noriega, General Noriega. He was president of Panama, a country next door to the United States. He was arrested based on the strategic interest of the United States. He threatened the United States security. He was arrested and carried to the United States in jail. So there's precedent to that. We hope and pray that our president does not fall that way. It shouldn't make anybody happy for our president to be arrested detained, because historically it will make us look bad. But some people are speculating for that already. But all of that speculation will be undermined by the government taking its side. Maybe the visit was in our mutual strategic and security interest. Maybe. Maybe it was meant to provide technical support to Liberia to increase its capacity to fight terrorism and money laundering, drug trafficking, and all that. Maybe it was meant for the good. But bad stories travel faster than good stories. And now, with the government being silent and the speculations are negative, who is it hurting? It is hurting the government, but it's also hurting Liberia's international image. People are wondering. 5 officials of Liberian government were sanctioned by the United States government. I don't know of any country in Africa that has any of these officials of government sanctioned. But the country that is closest to the United States, that has the longest historical ties with the United States, and is the country that the United States considers to be its strongest ally in Africa, based on World War I and World War II alliances and the Cold War, has its president also cited to Virginia for me as a Liberian citizen who has read Liberian history and one good for Liberia. I'm concerned. That's why I decided to bring this concern in the public space for you young intellectuals, so that all of us can find a reason. All of us are connected to government officials. Tell them. And I gave the historical background of how dangerous when speculation, negative speculation are left unattended, it can have unexpected dangerous consequences, like the coup d'etat of 1980 that was based on speculation that 90 presidents that were in jail, some of their chiefs and other local government officials were going to be executed on April 15 when they are not even being charged and tried. You see how dangerous? So we have had a precedent of dangerous speculation not attended by government affecting us negatively. And I'm saying in today's world, we don't have the Cold War again about communism and capitalism. What is dangerous is the process of the powerful nations of the world is terrorism, money laundering, drug trafficking. And those are serious. And then extrajudicial killings. People want to come to your country, and every time people are killed and no explanation. We have had a situation where arms came in our country and the government is still investigating. So there are speculations that the arm came through government sources that our government is not finding. Government needs to explain itself. All of these things are speculated about the government traveled, reportedly to United States, Virginia, because the government has not confirmed that it is Virginia. So government needs to explain all of this. Because in my mind as a lawyer, as a prosecutor, it should not take more than 1 hour, for example, for the police to know who brought arms in the country, because when the arms are produced, every arm has a serial number, and there's a chain of custody from the factory to the next end, and by the use of computer and the internet system, you can know within one hour how come the arm left from America to anywhere in the world. So again, these are the things that one government has made. I think secrecy does not help the people of Liberia, and does not help the government at all.
So let's take wonderful estimate right now.
Russell, thank you very much. My name is Michael Bayan. I report for Sky FM, Sky TV. Council, Having observed some of the insecurity in Liberia and the invitation received by the CIA to our president, what does it mean for the pending election comes October 10, 2022? And secondly, if you were asked to give advice to the government as it relates to security issue, because we knowing fully well that we have a major election coming, what advice will you give to the government as it relates to security?
First, I would advise the government to be serious in strengthening the capacity of the security forces, especially the police, by giving them all that they need to operate, but by also monitoring them and taking actions for violation of their standard operating procedures and laws of Liberia, so that the police is respected and the police become a true friend of the public. That will create and increase the capacity of the police to combat crime. Even the uniform of the police, you hear police officers say, when you see me with fine uniform, I bought them myself. That's the meaning. So if the government is not even buying police officers' uniforms for them to even appear decent in public, we're talking about other aspects of combating crime. Having petroleum, I've heard from security police sources how sometimes they credit petroleum from other of the petroleum stations in town to carry on operation. Police has to carry on operation, you know, and they must have all of the need so that the government can hold them responsible for their neglect. That must happen. But in terms of the implication for the visit for the election, I think I'm optimistic that if America invites in this election year, one of the things that America will say is that this drug trafficking, if it is true, the money laundering and the extrajudicial killings and all of these things will affect the credibility of the electoral process and the result, the integrity of the electoral process and the credibility of the results. Because you know what, if there are too many killings, a lot of people will be afraid to come out to even vote. You know, people who leave their villages in the interior to travel to other villages and they are moving along alone and they hear about hard men and all of that, people say, let me sit here. I'm not going to the other place before I disappear. I'm a single woman, I'm a widow, I'm not going to that village before somebody kills me on the road. And that will reduce the number of persons participating in the election. And when somebody wins with a very small percentage of the eligible voters, it questions the credibility, not the legitimacy, but the credibility of your authority. Because it means that you are president over a few people. So I think that there are more positive implications of the president's visit to CIA, because if it is true, and let me speculate if it is true, because I don't know until the government says so, then the intention is to say this election year, you have to bubble, you have to improve governance, especially in the security sector, the security of the people and the banking sector, all of that, so that poverty becomes very severe. You know, Bob Marley had, a very philosophical music. A hungry man is an angry man. Yesterday, somebody was discussing happiness, and I sent text message, Tiawan Gongloe, didn't see it early to read. I just said, look, go to Bob Marley music. They wanted the foundation of happiness to begin with eating something fresh. If you are hungry, even the best musician come here and perform on Broad Street, you want to go for Coco rather than go on Broad Street to watch that artist, right? That singer, right? So government has to see the welfare of the people and see their security. I strongly believe that United States government, our strongest ally, call the government to advise them to do what is right, so that we have free, fair, and transparent election. And frankly, if I must take some credit for that, I'm the only presidential contender who visited the State Department last year, had 2 hours of meeting indoors with the State Department, and one of the items that I can diverge is that I was asked, out of 10 priorities of Liberia, Councilor Gongloe, what do you consider as the one important priority of Liberia that America must assist Liberia with. I said, sirs, there were two senior officials. I said, free, fair, and transparent elections. And I want the United States government to assist the international community to put stationary observers in Liberia, not roaming observers, because when you go observe this station, you leave there for 1 hour to go to another station and come back. By that time, many things could have happened behind you that will undermine the integrity of the electoral process. So spend all their money to have stationary observers, because when conflict comes, you spend more money than preserving the peace through credible electoral process. I hope I answered the question.
So you said we should take one more. So we then take one more.
Thank you, moderator. My name is Jimmy N. Brahma. Let me say thank you to the council for taking up his time and coming to enlighten us of our rights that government owes. But your concern has raised a question to my mind. Holding to these speculations as being realities that our president is undergoing CIA investigation, I want you to make it clear to me what rights does the CIA have to invite a president of an independent nation to America to question him on said allegation? If the CIA has such authority, I also want to know what gives the CIA that authority. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you very much, Honorable. My name is David K. Yanford. I must commend you for the wake-up call that you have come to place to every one of us, calling on government to speak to this issue of the absence of our president from the country, and be it a visitation or an invitation call to attend to. But then before you're coming, this issue of his quote-unquote invitation or visitation, there is this, because he said speculation, and it was being reported in Front Page Africa that the president was served an invitation by the CIA. It was what we were all discussing here prior to your coming. And now you are saying that until government speak, all that is being said should be considered speculation. I want to know whether that is your stand. That until government speaks, all that is being said, including the report from Front Page Africa, should be considered a speculation. Thank you.
You know, first let me deal with your question. I don't even want to deal with CIA's authority. What took the President of America, at least I speculated, is invitation. And you know when you have an invitation, you have a right to refuse. Alright? There's a difference between invitation, arrest, order, all those commanding words. When you are invited, you have freedom to accept or reject the invitation. So because of that, we don't need to go to CIA's authority. Alright? Because anybody can invite you. It is your right to refuse or accept the invitation. Am I clear? So the other thing is, you know, papers can come affirmatively in the story and make declaration that this has happened. It has happened in this country many times where the government is saying, are not true. So because the government will say they're not true, I'm the biggest defender of journalists in Nigeria. I've won several awards. As I speak to you, I have cases in which I'm defending the Front Page Africa and several issues for free. But I still want to give the government a day, the benefit of the doubt, for them to say, yes, what Front Page is saying is true. Alright? So it is not negative, it's not against the government. But it is a positive attitude towards the government. Even though one of the leading papers in the country has said this, front page even want to say that there was actually a meeting at the CIA and only 2 ministers were allowed to enter with the government. The government might come and say, no, that's not true. Only the president enter, maybe all members of the delegation enter. So I am not accusing front page of telling a story or giving information that is not true. I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt to the government to also come and give a sound story. I think as a human rights lawyer, I'm trying to protect the rights of all. Alright?
So, Council, thank you so much.
So let me thank you for listening to me. More than 100 times, this young man and this young man have seen me across the road to set me. They are even virtually accused me of discrimination. I like to go to Sepi. Why don't I come here? So let me give you notice that I will come here in an impromptu way anytime I'm impelled by reason to come and educate and exchange with people. But every time I come here, I learn. None of these politicians shy away from the public, deny themselves or knowledge. Because every time we engage, based on the way you ask me question, I learn to and build my capacity to even face debate. So allow me to come here anytime impromptu. You're welcome. And so what you see, what some young people can do. The young man who asked, you see, I had information. I came here, I told the man, oh, that is possible, right? He said, no, I will just hide from the senior coming. But he came and said, oh, I violated the law. So information, tolerance, getting adequate information are all parts of building the intellectual power. Let's learn to listen to each other. The other day, I don't think you were there. You were there. I told the young people, debate with each other. Don't fight. Don't cause each other mad. Don't speak in a manner that will stimulate violence. Let me show you how to do it. I sat there and called Moba Molu, the chairman of the ruling party. Moba Molu said, I just joke and say, this is your council and he will give you free legal advice. Can't bring me a lunch. He said, okay, I come to your office. I said, no, come to St. You were there, right? He said, I'm coming there. In 30 minutes, they arrived. And I told the young people, I said, this is leadership by example. You see, the man is sitting here as the chairman of the ruling party and the newest presidential contender. I said some harsh things to the government in power that is led by the party that is ruling, is the chairman of. But he was sitting side by side, and Moba, to his credit, spoke very well that day as well, and said we should do their constitution. Don't force with anybody, don't fight anybody, don't get angry with anybody for disagreeing with you. So both of us there build at least some degree of tolerance and educated people. By example, how people should be tolerant. The person you disagree with today might be the person you agree with tomorrow. When you go home and think about the power of his argument, the fact, and the way the presentation is done. So let's not create blocks between us. Let us promote peace and democracy by demonstrating what democracy is for. There can be no democracy without disagreement. Disagreement is the foundation of democracy. And democratic societies are more peaceful than autocratic societies. Thank you very much for listening.
So earlier you were charged with breaching our protocol. We had to make our correction, and I don't want to be in the wrong again.